The 2025 Formula One season has already delivered some unexpected twists, and no one could have predicted just how deep the drama would go within Ferrari. With the team facing mounting pressure following a string of disappointing results, Lewis Hamilton, the seven-time world champion, dropped a bombshell that could change the course of Ferrari's entire campaign. His recent comments about Ferrari's SF25 and its configuration revealed some serious discrepancies between his car and teammate Charles Leclerc's, and Hamilton didn't hold back. Hamilton's words were nothing short of a revelation. He openly stated that there was a noticeable performance gap between the two cars, indicating that Leclerc was not facing the same issues as him. The implications of this are massive for the team, for the drivers, and for Ferrari's hopes in the 2025 season. Could this discrepancy signal deeper issues inside the Scuderia's garage? And what does it mean for the rest of the season? Hamilton's comments made after the Japanese Grand Prix echoed a growing frustration within the team. This wasn't just about a single race or a bad weekend. This was about a long-standing issue within Ferrari's setup, one that might go beyond what most fans and even insiders could have guessed. Ferrari's struggles this season have been well documented, and the Bahrain Grand Prix was no exception. For a team that had hoped to turn its fortunes around in 2025, the result was yet another disappointment. Hamilton finished a frustrating sixth, a full 34 seconds behind the winner. McLaren and Red Bull were dominating, while Ferrari seemed to be struggling just to keep pace. However, what followed the race in Bahrain was far more concerning than the result on paper. Ferrari's performance issues weren't just about speed. Pit stop failures, car balance, overheating tires, and an inconsistent setup were all factors that contributed to a weekend that Hamilton was quick to describe as one of the worst. This isn't the type of race where the result is simply brushed off. The team knew something needed to change, and it was becoming clear that this wasn't just about one bad race. It was an issue that had been lingering for a while. Hamilton's frustrations were made clear in his post-race interviews. He wasn't hiding his disappointment, but it was the way he articulated his concerns that was most telling. When asked about the performance gaps between himself and Leclerc, he spoke candidly about the deficit he was experiencing. And that's when he dropped the bombshell. It was clear that the performance issues weren't just on his side of the garage. According to Hamilton, Leclerc's SF25 was handling better, and that raised some serious questions about the fairness of the setup between the two cars. What Hamilton revealed is much more than just a technical flaw. When a driver of Hamilton's caliber mentions that his car feels different from his teammates, it's not just a minor difference in setup. It points to a deeper, systemic issue within the team's engineering and strategy. Ferrari is a team with a history of internal battles and drama, and Hamilton's comments seem to suggest that this season may be no different. At the heart of Hamilton's complaints was the balance of the SF25. While Leclerc had managed to find a setup that worked for him, Hamilton was struggling to get the same performance out of his car. This inconsistency is a major problem for Ferrari, and it's one that has been hinted at for weeks. Both drivers should be able to extract the same potential from their cars, but the fact that Hamilton is still struggling indicates that something is wrong within the team's setup. Ferrari's decision to bring Hamilton on board was supposed to mark a new era for the team, a chance for them to build a truly competitive car that could challenge Red Bull and McLaren. But instead, the team seems to be stumbling from one issue to the next. Even after the introduction of new updates and a renewed focus on improving the SF25, the car still isn't delivering, and Hamilton's comments reflect that frustration. One of the key issues Hamilton mentioned was the lack of consistency in the car's performance. He specifically noted that when he tried to follow other cars on track, he couldn't maintain the same level of grip, which led to frequent tire degradation and an inability to stay competitive. It's not just about the setup, it's about the fundamental handling of the car. The SF25 seems to be plagued by issues that prevent it from being a reliable contender in every situation. This inconsistency has been a recurring theme in Hamilton's assessments of Ferrari. He has praised the team for their efforts and their work ethic, but there's no denying that the results haven't been up to par. He's been dealing with a car that doesn't respond the way he expects it to, and that's something even a driver of his caliber can't overcome easily. He needs a car that gives him feedback and confidence, and the SF25 just isn't doing that right now. Hamilton's criticism could be a wake-up call for Ferrari, but it also puts pressure on the entire team. If one of the most successful drivers in F1 history is speaking out about these issues, it's clear that the team needs to take action. This isn't just about one race or one driver's personal frustration. This is about the team's ability to build a competitive car and manage their two drivers effectively. If Ferrari doesn't address these internal discrepancies soon, they risk falling further behind their rivals. As we approach the upcoming races, Ferrari's focus needs to be on fixing these issues. They can't afford to let their internal struggles spill over into their performances. The pressure will be on both Leclerc and Hamilton to deliver results, but it's becoming increasingly difficult for Hamilton to find his rhythm in a car that isn't delivering